It's the end of an era of shopping in Leicester, which has become a way of life to so many local people for getting on for 200 years. The business in Horsefair Street.
Have you a jar of quails?
Yes, we have a jar here with about 20 in it, 5 shillings each.
Oh,
run
delicious.
by Epicure.
Yes, thank you very much. Any kangaroo tail
Yes,
soup,
we have
please?
kangaroo tail soup, 8 and 6pence a jar.
To work at Simpkin and James as an errand boy. Well, it was generally referred to as the Store of the Midlands, and it was often compared with the Fortnum Masons of London, and certainly was compared with, in those days, Burton's of Nottingham. And we went out on a push bike with a carrier in front of it, you know the type of thing I mean, which had a basket inside it, delivering small parcels all over the city and sometimes the county. Always taught to treat customers with the utmost respect, almost bow them in. I remember they had a commissionaire on the door in Horsefair Street who stood there every morning, and he was uniformed, and he opened the door to customers when they came in. It was always sir or madam. And we as assistants in those days were always trained to treat our customers with sir or madam. In those days the customer was always right, yes. There was the grocery department, there was the wine and spirit department, there was a fruit department, flower department, there was a hors d'oeuvre department, there was a sweet department, because Simpkin and James were also confectioners. They made their own chocolates, as indeed they made their own cakes. They're well known for the famous cheesecakes of the day. There was a cheese department, there was a bacon department, and there was also a cooked meat department, and there was the cafe. And then in 1971, February it was, the firm ceased trading. Yes, I also remember it became associated with, what was it, Frank Sinatra's song, I Did It My Way, and I remember the comment by the BBC Radio Leicester commentator was, and Simpkin and James did it their way.
And so progress and mass efficiency have chalked up yet another victory. We have our fine new supermarkets, but some may say, at what cost?
The Fish and Quart pub just past Mansfield Street.
All the animals from the palace when they brought circuses and things, and all the artists used to come across for the drinks. We had the elephants and the ponies and the monkeys. We had such a big yard and stables. And I remember they brought the elephant one time when it was the Royal Italian Circus, and they brought it to stay at the Swan and Two Nexus somewhere there, and it wouldn't stop. It came right down to the Fish and Quart. And it wouldn't stop in the stable without the zebra there. It had to have the zebra in the stable with it, and this fella had to sleep in the stable with it, on a camp bed. And he said if he wanted to go to the pictures or anything, he don't leave it, like a babysitter. And we also had the boxers, you know, at the Fish and Quart. Then we had Maurice Gazelle, the Frenchman, Joe Woods from America, Donald McCorkindale from South Africa. We had the opposition camp to the Regiment camp and Larry Gaines camp. I think they were at the Queen's in Charles Street.
And you had a training ring down
yes,
at the...
training ring, yes, and everything. But Joe Woods always said, he was an American, he says, we don't come to box, we come to fight. He says, you box in the ring, boxers in England, but he says, we don't. Which they don't today, do they?
My father, after the Second World War, came back from being in the RAF and opened up a shop in Churchgate called Apex Craft. And it was a shop that sold model aeroplanes, model boats, model anything, radio control planes, things like that. It was the shop that every little boy in Leicester knew. We went to live in Churchgate when I was 18 months old, until I was 5. Today I'm quite proud of having lived right in the centre of town in Churchgate, because I still think it's a very old part of Leicester that's a bit like a village that's not really changed, not like the rest of Leicester. Prior to my father taking over, it had been an undertaker's.
Either 35 or early 36. Overall, the rents for these properties were around about 2 and 9 a week.
Go by on the bus and
one day Elston Street standing, and then you could go down the next week and it was just a pile of bricks, except for the top part, which is still there, the limb fitting centre.
I said to the wife, hey look, they're going to pull that down now, I wonder what, and as soon as they pulled this down, all these mice shot out across Warden Street. They ran across the road.
Well, that used to be Lewitt's, the hosiery, the boot and shoe factory, and there was a fire there, and the block building there, it seemed the wall collapsed and it came straight across the road into Winifred Street, and then the cinema was after that.
Victoria Street, where I was born, little 2 up, 2 down, and then a huge community yard with 1 tap. I always remember the 1 tap because we had the floods once and we all stood watching the tap disappear. The thing I remember, but it used to be overrun with cockroaches, and we used to go in and have to sweep them out when we'd been. It was a horrible place, but it was home and we didn't know any different. And then, of course, when we moved to Elston Street with 3 bedrooms, well, we were living in luxury then, weren't we? Still never had an indoor bathroom.
No.
No hot water.
No.
No hot water. Not till I moved up here did we have an inside toilet. We always had an outside toilet, didn't we?
Yes, I had to share my toilet.
We did. Oh no, not in Elston Street.
No.
We did in Victoria Street. We used to have to sit and watch if you wanted to go to see if anybody was already in there and wait for them to come out before you could go in.
I've had as many as 50 bike in the yard. So we used to give threepence, some tuppence. I used to have 2 tickets, one on the bike, one in his pocket, so they didn't get the wrong bike when they went. We had to safeguard, you know. There were no cars. Very, very few. Saturday, I ran home, got my sandwiches and went straight onto the city ground. And they shut the grounds at 1 o'clock. That's when they played Tottenham Hotspur in the 3rd round of the Cup, 1928.
Spend no end of time at the cattle market, watching them slaughtering the cows in the old slaughterhouses. In the summer holidays, you used to spend no end of time up there. Of course, you used to be ever so busy there then, you know, selling. You used to sit in the seat, watch them selling the cows and round the pens, you know, and watching the pigs and everything. You know, yeah, we used to spend no end of time up there.
Had previously been the Queen's Hall and the Astoria Ballroom, but came to prominence in the 1960s, and it is as the Rondo that people of that generation remember it.
Rondo to Silver Street. Well, that was terrific, that was. I mean, that was the one good thing about Leicester. Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac, Howling Wolf, Slim Harpo, Champion Jack Dupree. I remember having a beer with him, you know. And The Who loved coming down to the Rondo. John Mayer used to come down quite a lot. Graham Bond and his organisation used to play there quite a lot. Fleetwood Mac used to play there quite a lot. But whenever the Pretty Things came down there, it was full of women, because they just went down for the front guy, who was Phil May. And then you get the Long John Baldress and the Brian August and the Julie Driscolls. And then he'd put all the blues guys on, Jesse Fuller, the Sugar Pie DeSanto. It was a lot of fun. No tables, everybody was standing around. And they introduced Howling Wolf, and he came on doing Smokestack Lightning, stomping on the stage. I mean, without the Rondo, we would not have been able to see any of those people really, because apart from that, and I don't know how he did it, he seems to have some sort of coup on it, or a good agent negotiating for it. But apart from that, you wouldn't have seen them.